There's big number 70, Lindsey. 6'6", only a sophomore, 17 or 18 years old, and he plays basketball also. He's a backup center for Houston.
Leonard Mitchell, and there's the pitch going to Jerome Evans, and he picks up at most a yard as he gets to the 37. David Hodge in to make the tackle. I'm Lindsey Nelson with Paul Horning here at the Cotton Bowl game as we start the second quarter. Notre Dame leads by a score of 12-7. Irish in possession, third down, 4 yards to go. They have it at their own 37.
Boy, is he big. He's credited with 2 interceptions, both for touchdowns, a defensive tackle.
Buchanan is coming to the Notre Dame backfield now, and Palace has gone out. Dan Devine's been shuttling him in and out. Evans has carried 7 times for 20 yards unofficially. Kris Haines to a wide right, Houlihan to a wide left. Running backs in an I, 3rd and 4 for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame moved.
Penalty markers are down as Taylor was in to make the tackle on Ferguson.
Check out the penalty. There's number 90, Jose Taylor, another sophomore.
Illegal motion against Notre Dame.
They'll decline. Notre Dame will have to punt.
They do decline it. 4th down comes up. It's a loss of 3 on the play.
This is another small gentleman, 6'5", 265 pounds. Heavens gets clotheslined. No gain.
So now the punter is Joe Restic. He averaged 38.2. His long was 66. Donnie Love is back there with Linnell Fee to receive the punt. Same thing happened before. It's at the 40-yard line. And if it hit a Notre Dame man, would be killed there. Marked by the official at the 40-yard line, where Houston will take over as the ball at the moment is resting at the 36. A 30-yard punt has given Houston the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line. Notre Dame's leading by a score of 12-7. Danny Davis brings the Cougars up. He still has it. Pitches to King. Emmett King across the 40. Penalty marker.
Face mask.
Bobby Leopold, Jim Browner, Joe Restic all there.
Beautiful execution of the veer option that time, Lindsey, by Danny Davis. Could it be a face mask? Let's check it out.
Referee is Pete Williams with the white cap on there. White cap equipped with ear flaps appropriately for the afternoon.
Danny Davis.
Holding against Notre Dame.
Defensive holding against Notre Dame. Picked up about 7 on that outside option to the right side.
So this is a big one, a 15-yarder in college football. And makes it 1st and 10, Houston at the Notre Dame 41.
Danny Davis has been pretty successful here in the Cotton Bowl, right, Lindsey? He went to elementary school and literally only a stone's throw off the backside of the Cotton Bowl, and he's played here 8 times, undefeated as a quarterback.
This is Love, and he fumbles the ball, and Notre Dame recovers at the 32-yard line. It's a day for turnovers. The cold weather. John Hankard, number 47, on the ball for Notre Dame.
Oh, and a beautiful hole and a good pickup off the right side. They're just controlling the line of scrimmage offensively. Houston, if they can only keep their hands on the football. Randy Love coughs it up, and John Hankard has it for Notre Dame.
Paul Horning, you played in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Now, you have days like this. What are the hazards on an extremely cold day?
It is not as bad, Lindsey, playing on the natural turf on a day like this, because you can get a little bit better footing. But this ice on top of this carpet is very slippery, and it's very cold. And you're right, boy, when your hands get cold, you have a tendency to cough up that football. Look at here.
A little trouble with the snap. Penalty markers everywhere as Montana gathered it in. Well, your hands don't stand much of a chance of getting any warmer during the afternoon.
Well, both clubs have some warmers on the sidelines, and you'll see from time to time that the players, when they're on their sidelines, they'll be right near that heater. Look at this snap from center, Lindsey. The exchange just goes right through Montana's hands. He goes up, makes a nice one-handed stab to get the football back.
5-yard penalties marked off against Notre Dame. You see one of the heaters along the sideline. Illegal procedure is the call, which will make it 1st and 15 and move the ball back to the 27-yard line. Notre Dame is leading by a score of 12-7. We have 13 minutes, 45 seconds left in the first half.
And where is Vagas Ferguson?
Played very sparingly. And motion across. Jerome Evans from the tailback. Cross to the 32. David Hyde in to make the tackle. Picked up 5. It'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Penalty marker on the play.
It's a good pickup for Evans off the right side, Lindsey, but going to bring it back.
Dave Huffman over there to listen. So that's a personal foul against Notre Dame. So that will move the Irish back deep into their own territory.
Way back. 15 yards. It was 1st and 15, so going to have 1st and 30.
Back to the 22-yard line.
But well, they got a whole lot.
Dead ball foul. So it is 2nd down now.
It's a loss of down penalty.
And 20 to go on the 22. Montana. Well, he got it. No, he did not. Incomplete. Incomplete. He did not. It's an incomplete pass that was batted around for a while.
43 is James Wilson, a defensive end who has dropped back in that pass defense. Here comes the pass. Montana under pressure, just a little bit behind Dennis Grindinger. Or was that Dean Mastick? Dean Mastick, number 86. And they ruled it incomplete.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 20 for Notre Dame at their own 22. Willis in a wide left. Kris Haines in a wide right. Penalty marker. It is incomplete. And there's a marker to be checked out. It was Grindinger for whom it was intended. Tommy Ebner was the defender. He's from Dallas.
Well, the receiver's having a little hard time of holding on to Montana's passes. He's been on target 3 or 4 times.
Houston offside.
This time, Notre Dame will get 5 yards back.
Should make it at the 15, or rather at the 27 with 15 yards to go.
Kris Haines, who led Notre Dame in pass receiving this year with 32 catches, has not caught a pass so far today.
3rd down and 15 at the 27.
He's getting double coverage over there too, Lindsey.
Pallas on the draw, and Pete Pallas gets out to the 33-yard line on the draw play, but that'll bring the punting unit in. Ebner and Hodge made the tackle. Joe Restic is coming in to punt for Notre Dame. Son of the head coach at Harvard. He is a senior. And Linnell Fee drops back right there to receive the punt for Houston.
Houston may try to apply pressure on the punt here. Rushing 10 men, at least it looks like it right now, Lindsey. Here they come.
Gets it off, again not deep, and it hits at the 45 and bounds out of bounds. No run back, and it'll be marked at the 42-yard line, 1st and 10. So the Cougars get the ball in good field position. Notre Dame is leading 12-7, and we have 12 minutes, 29 seconds left to play in the first half, a 25-yard punt. Bill Yeoman is the dean of the Southwest Conference coaches. He's been in Houston 17 years. He was captain of the Army team in 1948 when a student football manager was a man named Frank Warren, but he became an astronaut. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Love carries, and he struggles out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Golick and Case made the tackle.
This is Bob Golick in the middle. Little reverse spin. He comes around the block, comes back in to help out on the stop. The running backs for Houston now, King, 32 yards on 5 carries, and Love's picked up 39 yards and 8 carries.
Love again. This time Golick and Weston are there. It's going to be marked up at the 48-yard line. Picked up a couple of yards on the play. But to leave...
I think that's Bob Golick. He's injured.
It is. Golick was injured in the Southern Cal game when he had a sprained knee.
Here he is in the middle. You see the little equipment tape on his left side. He's hurt his leg, but he came back from the injury very well. He's pushing off of it right here, Lindsey, and I think it just twisted on the left side. Golick's down for Notre Dame.
His backup is Pete Johnson. Third down and 4 yards to go for Houston. They have the ball at their own 48-yard line. Pete Johnson has replaced Golick for Notre Dame. Golick went off under his own power. Danny Davis waiting for the snap for the Houston Cougars. Bobbles it for a moment, picks it up, keeps it himself. Almost gets back to the line of scrimmage. Jeff Weston and Jay Case closed him off. It'll be 4th down now. And the punting unit comes on. Jay Wyatt comes out to do the kicking. Dave Waymer has started to drop back for Notre Dame. That is Waymer there. Harrison is upfield about 10 yards in front of him in tandem.
Well, Wyatt will be kicking with the wind. He averaged 39 yards on the season.
Waymer at the 12-yard line.
Good coverage.
Absolutely. At the 13, it is 1st and 10 for Notre Dame as the Irish will start deep in their own territory.
41-yard punt. Lindsey, we've got a injury report on Bob Golick, the All-American middle linebacker. He injured his knee, but he is expected to return.
We invite you to stay with us during the halftime intermission. We'll have the usual pageantry, and I also have an interesting guest on at halftime today in the Cotton Bowl. Tell you more about that later. Ferguson, and he is stacked up at the 15-yard line by Jose Taylor, along with Alton Harvey. Let's go down to Frank Lieber on the sideline.
I was behind the Notre Dame bench a moment ago, talked to Joe Montana. He, of course, plays his football in South Bend, grew up in Monongahela, Pennsylvania, says he has never been this cold during a football game in his life. Says the field isn't bad, but he said it's a problem keeping the hands warm. And, of course, the wind is a very big factor, and he can't wait to get it back.
It's not too warm for announcers either, Frank. It's 2nd down and 8 yards to go at the 15. Find a little hole there.
Very important 1st down coming up for Notre Dame, and defensively for Houston, a very big 3rd down situation, Lindsey. If Houston can hold Notre Dame here, Notre Dame will have to be punting against that wind, and Houston should have excellent field position.
Mitchell carried on the last play out to the 18-yard line. So it's 3rd down coming up. Nine minutes, 55 seconds left to play in the first half. Montana has it. Maztek with a sliding catch. And he's right at the stick, so let's check this one out pretty carefully. See about the possible 1st down.
It looked like he picked up the 1st down. All depends on where he spots the ball. Play action, going to the right of your screen. He comes back against the grain. Maztek has it, slides down. Now, let's see where they marked it. Very important mark of the football. Looked like he marked it back a little bit.
First down.
1st down.
1st and 10 for Notre Dame.
Oh, that would have been a big one for Houston. They had to punt against that wind.
Do you remember a play year before last year against Maryland when Danny Davis went back there about his own goal line and completed the pass up the sideline to get them out of there and go on and win the football game?
That's right. Oh, they were explosive. Put 4 or 5 touchdowns on the board in the 1st quarter.
Mastak has caught 2 for 33. It's first and 10 at the 23-yard line. That's Vagas Ferguson carrying. But he is firmly in the grasp of David Hodge, number 42, the junior from Clute, All-Southwest Conference and All-American linebacker for the Cougars. Loss of a yard on the play. It's at 2nd and 11 at the 22-yard line.
2nd down, 10.
8 minutes, 58 seconds left in the half. Houlihan comes out to a wide left. Montana. Going long to Kris Haines, incomplete. So it'll be 3rd down and 11 yards to go back at the 22. Kris Haines, during the course of the regular season, caught 32, had 5 touchdowns. Gerald Cook was covering on that corner. He's from Palestine.
So far, Mr. Haines has been shut out. You know, it's kind of ironic, Lindsey. The only really 2 parts of your body that you realize it's freezing in a day like this are your hands and your feet. And, of course, they're the 2 most important parts of your body in a game like this.
You can speak for yourself. I'm cold all over. It's 3rd down and 11 yards to go at the 22. Fumble. Houston got the ball. The Cougars have it near the 20-yard line of Notre Dame. It's David Hodge on the football.
Well, this is the 2nd time today that Montana and Dave Huffman have had a problem on the exchange from the center to the quarterback, and it is definitely because of the weather. Watch David Hodge react to the football. The big linebacker, the junior from Clute, has got it, and Houston is in business.
They are really in business because Notre Dame is leading by a score of 12-7, but Houston has the ball 1st and 10 just outside the 21-yard line. 8.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Danny Davis, the quarterback. And this one off to Love. Torn jersey and all. He goes to the 17-yard line. Jeff Weston from Rochester, New York, brought him down.
You know, it's interesting. You listen to the Notre Dame players and coaches. They said last year when we had to get ready for Texas, we were up. We were playing for the #1 position in college football. And he said, really, we only had to stop one player, Earl Campbell. He said, getting ready for Houston, much more difficult with the Veer. They've got more skilled athletes, and they are quicker.
Danny Davis with the pitch. King has it inside the 10-5, down to the 3-yard line and maybe the 2. Pete Johnson finally made the stop. It is marked at the 3-yard line. 1st down and goal to go.
One thing about the Veer, Lindsey, it doesn't matter what defense the other team is in. Here's the fake over the middle, reverse option. King has got it. Now watch him turn it on. 14-yard pickup. 1st down. And they only need about 4 for the touch.
1st down and goal to go at the 3-yard line. 7 minutes, 41 seconds left in the half. Davis rolling and looking and throwing, and it's incomplete. It was Jurgaitis in the end zone. Joe Restic covering defensively.
Just a little bit easier, and that would have been 6. There's the big tight end, 6'5", 230. Falls City, Texas.
2nd down and goal to go. Houston at the Notre Dame 3-yard line as Hubert Miller, the sophomore from Fort Worth, brings in the next play. Davis is 1 for 3, 15 yards in the air, but that was the big one. It was the touchdown pass, and here we're getting a Houston timeout. Houston has called for a timeout with 7 minutes, 32 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. Notre Dame with a 5-point lead, and Houston threatening has taken a timeout. This is Lindsey Nelson with Paul Horning at the Cotton Bowl, where Notre Dame is leading Houston by a score of 12-7, but Houston has the ball 2nd down and goal to go, and they have it at the Notre Dame 3-yard line. We have 7.5 minutes remaining to be played in the first half on a cold day in Dallas, Texas. Danny Davis quarterbacking the Houston Cougars as he has throughout this ball game. He was a senior from right here in Dallas. One time worked in the Cotton Bowl as a peanut salesman when he was a youngster going to elementary school within the shadow of the Cotton Bowl. Davis has got the ball, but Davis cannot advance. It was Jay Case who was hanging on to him, and it's going to be 3rd down and goal still at the 3-yard line. So the big 3rd down play comes now for the Houston Cougars. Zergaitis is bringing in the next play. Number 85 reporting into Davis.
Counter option. Reverse option is really hurting.
Penalty markers down at the line of scrimmage. Davis gets into the end zone. Now there's a penalty marker to be checked out. So what's that all about? Davis took it in all right.
Well, they had the counter option pass. Coming back to the weak side, I think it's going to go against
Illegal
Houston.
motion against Houston nullifies what otherwise would have been a touchdown.
Well, it's a big break for Notre Dame here, Lindsey. Here it is. Watch the fake inside. Now they come back against the grain. It's an option right here for Davis to either run or throw the football. He decides to take it in. I'll tell you, he's tricky.
Illegal motion will move the ball back to the 9-yard line. Third down and goal to go now, just inside the 9-yard line. King in love with the setbacks for that man, Danny Davis. King down to the 2-yard line. It'll be fourth down coming up, and it's goal to go.
Pete Johnson makes a stop on the inside. Listen, 3rd and 8 is not necessarily a passing situation for Houston out of the veer. Look at that hole up front. And Pete Johnson right here makes a good stop. I think that was Jim Browner up from his safety position.
Timeout, Houston. And Bill Yeoman there with his quarterback. On Saturday, January 6th, for 3.5 hours, the new look CBS Sports Spectacular premieres with the East-West Shrine game, followed by highlights of the fight between Roberto Duran and Monroe Brooks.
And then it's a Hollywood stunt competition, plus the NFL Cheerleader Classic. Well, I'm going to watch that one.
You and I. That's January 6th for the premiere of the action-packed new look CBS Sports Spec. Don't miss it.
NFL Cheerleaders Classic. Rumor has it that Jimmy the Greek has the Dallas Cowgirls, the 6-5 favorite in that one.
Or at least with 6 points. We have a fourth down situation coming up here as Bill Yeoman talks it over with his quarterback. Bill Yeoman was born in Indiana, attended high school in Glendale, Arizona, was a freshman at Texas A&M, then an All-American center at West Point, captain of the 48th team under Coach Red Blake.
They are going to go. And the key to it will be Davis.
Any man knows the veer offense is Bill Yeoman. He invented it.
I think it,
Love, touchdown. Love took it in for the touchdown.
quickness of Randy Love. He scored 9 touchdowns on the year. Just straight ahead, Lindsey. From the end zone, just a handoff. Right over his right tackle, and he veers to the outside, and his momentum gets him into the end zone. Houston takes the lead.
The Cougars are leading it now 13-12, and they have a conversion attempt coming, and they have Kenny Hatfield in there to boot it. Randy Love, who took it in. Senior from Garland. The punter, Jay Wyatt, holds. Hatfield boots, and it's good. And so now the score is the Houston Cougars 14 and Notre Dame 12, with 6 minutes 27 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. We were saying that we had an interesting guest coming up at halftime, and it's going to be Dickie Magel, who had an outstanding game here in the Cotton Bowl 25 years ago today as Rice defeated Alabama, and Magel figured in a very bizarre play, and we'll be talking with him about that at halftime. Of course, we have lots of big events coming up on CBS, and one of them is the NFC Championship next Sunday, January 7th, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Oh, it's going to be a great one. The Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. Pat Summerall and Brookie will be there.
So tune it in on January 7th on CBS, the NFC Championship.
Word around Dallas is Roger Staubach will be back at the controls.
Hatfield will kick off here now. Stone is back there deep, along with Randy Harrison to receive it for Notre Dame.
Rams didn't look too shabby yesterday on CBS, did they?
Harrison's waiting. He's got it 2 yards deep in the end zone. Goal line 5 and out to the 10. Harrison to the 15, stacked up at the 16-yard line. and struggle to the 17 where they'll start 1st and 10. It was Chumchall downfield to make the tackle. Backup cornerback.
He was stopped near the 17-yard line by Wilson versus
We were saying early in the ballgame after Notre Dame had taken an early lead that the veer attack of Houston can strike quickly and at any time, and it had struck for 14 points to put them out front. Vagas Ferguson.
Flag is down
Keys
over on
made
the
the tackle.
sidelines.
There is a penalty marker to be checked out.
I tell you, with 6 minutes to go, Notre Dame against this win. The defensive thinking here for Houston is they're on offense right now, Lindsey. They've got to stop from making a first down, and Houston will be back in business with good field position, and this really hurts.
Holding against the Irish.
Notre Dame had the win in the first quarter, put 2 touchdowns on the board, then 2 turnovers. Notre Dame has given Houston the lead.
He's going to move the ball back to about the 7.5-yard line.
Notre Dame has been penalized half the distance to the goal line. Holding worse than called.
First down and about 20 yards to go. Again, it's Ferguson. He got it out to the 15-yard line. Robert Oglesby from Fort Worth made the tackle.
If Ferguson stays well, he will eclipse Jerome Heaven's career rushing mark at Notre Dame. He'll need about 600 yards next year, and he should accomplish that easy. Went over the 200-yard mark twice during the season.
Second down and 13 yards to go at the 15. Montana back to throw. There's a screen right to Heavens, and he slips out of bounds at about the 9-yard line. Jerome Heavens broke the career rushing record at Notre Dame that had been held for so many years by George Gipp, prompting the wags around South Bend to say that Notre Dame no longer won one for the Gipper, they won one for Heaven's sake. It is third down coming up. 5.5 minutes remaining to be played in the first half. Third and long. Haines in the wide right, Houlihan left. Montana rolling. Goes to Houlihan, and it is intercepted. Picked up by Kenny Hatfield. Hatfield is returning, and he's across the 40, 35, the 30. Kenny Hatfield goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10, Houston at the Notre Dame 25 on Kenny Hatfield's interception.
There's Montana. He's trying to come up with the play, Lindsey, to get him out of that territory, a big first down, but what a defensive interception by Kenny Hatfield. Good hands, and Hatfield keeps his balance on a good return, a 25-yard return. He's out of bounds.
Hatfield is also the placement kicker, in addition to being a cornerback. First down, 10 yards to go. Danny Davis brings them up. That is Love carrying. Randy Love popped it to the 17 before Mike Calhoun and Bobby Leopold brought him down. Gain of 8 yards on the play, 2nd and 2.
Well, if Houston offensive linemen keep the pressure on with these 2 backs, Love and King.
Joe Restic is down. It's an injury timeout.
Halftime score, Alabama over Penn State by 7. I was saying, Lindsey, the offensive line for Houston is really coming off the football. And these backs, both Emmett King and Randy Love, they hit in there so quick. Your defensive tackle, they must stop first the handoff to the backs, and that has been Houston's best play so far. Love has 54 yards on 11 carries, and King 55 yards on 8 carries. Very balanced rushing.
Joe Restic is leaving the field. He has been replaced by Randy Harrison at the free safety spot for Notre Dame. Restic is also the punter. Second down, about 2.5 yards to go. Houston at the Notre Dame 17-yard line, and Houston is leading by a score of 14-12. This is King. First and 10. At the 10, Tom Gibbons made the tackle for Notre Dame.
All during the first half. Look at the wide splits for that Houston veer, and look at the hole, Lindsey. Even though he almost gets tackled by Calhoun, the splits of the offensive line of Houston, the blocking up front, there's huge gaping holes for those two backs to run into, especially from tackle to tackle.
They've got Adams in the wide left, Jurgaitis in the slot. Love got the football, and he lost a yard.
Closed it.
Second and 11 at the 11-yard line. John Hankard and to make the tackle along with Jeff Weston. Hubert Miller brings in the next play. John Newhouse comes in now at a running back also for Houston.
They very possibly could get a first down, but they got to move the football to about the 6-inch line to get a first down.
It's possible, but not likely. Davis has the ball. Davis drove inside the 5-yard line to the 4. Jay Case there on the tackle.
Now, this is an excellent decision on the part of Danny Davis here. It looks like he's not going to gain maybe 1 or 2 yards, but he just waits and picks his spot. He goes inside, and on that field, he slides an extra 3 or 4 yards. He got it inside the 5. It's resting at the 4-yard line.
Third down coming, 3rd and 4 at the 4. Houston leading 14-12 and driving with 3 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in the half. Davis still alive. Throws it up into the end zone and throws it away. It's incomplete. 4th and 4 at the 4-yard line.
Wise decision.
Hatfield's coming in. He's the field goal man.
He threw it away on purpose, Lindsey. Wasn't anybody in the vicinity of that pass. Danny Davis didn't want to be sacked for that 10 or 12-yard loss.
In field goals this year, Hatfield was 2 for 4.
Well, they scored so many touchdowns, it didn't matter. 44 touchdowns in an 11-game season.
This will be a 21-yard attempt with Wyatt holding for Hatfield from the hash mark right. The 21-yarder is good. And the score is Houston 17, Notre Dame 12. And we have exactly 3 minutes remaining to be played in the first half of the 43rd annual Cotton Bowl game here in Dallas, Texas.
Injury report on Joe Restic, the fine safety, free safety for Notre Dame, has a contusion on his back and possibly he could return.
Notre Dame is deploying to receive the kickoff. That is Harrison dropping back there with Stone to receive the kickoff, and Hatfield has teed it up.
Well, Lindsey, you watch Notre Dame all year long, and it seems to me that Joe Montana usually responds passing the football when he's in trouble, when he has to throw the football. And I think they're going to be in trouble in the second half, and he's going to have to come on and throw the football. They're going to have to catch it. They've dropped 3 or 4 in the first half.
I would think that they consider themselves to be in some trouble right now with Houston out front 17-12. Hatfield kicks it off. It's over to Harrison's side of the field, and he's got it at the 9, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Harrison to the 21-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 21.
Harrison on the kickoff return to the 20-yard line.
Newhouse was downfield to make the tackle for Houston.
Down by Williams and Love.
Houston's first year of eligibility for the Cotton Bowl was 1976. And that's when they came in here and defeated Maryland, and Bill Yeoman was runner-up that year for National Coach of the Year honors.
What a job he's done at Houston.
Villahan in motion across. Give it to the fullback. Evans has moved it out across the 30-35 and on to the 37-yard line for a 1st and 10. Chumchall made the tackle.
Good blocking off the left side. Jerome Evans. There's Vagas Ferguson, the I-back. He hands it off to Evans. He slides to his left. He's going to pick up 17 yards here and the 1st down.
Wind has blown the ball around, and the officials give chase to get it back and re-spot it. Evans has carried 11 times for 39 yards for Notre Dame today. 1st and 10, short of the 37-yard line. Montana. Bendinger cannot hold on. It's incomplete.
Now Notre Dame's tight ends having trouble this afternoon holding on to the football. I think that's about the 5th time a tight end has dropped the football. It would have been a good catch, Lindsey. But as I said, the cold, that's the first thing that people worry about in a game like this is their hands.
It will be 2nd down coming now with 10 yards to go at the 37. Houston's leading by a score of 17-12. Montana. And it's complete up the middle. And Evans takes it across the 45-yard line to the 46. David Hodge made the tackle.
A little short of the 1st down.
He was stopped by Hodge and Hatfield.
3rd down and a yard to go.
Short of the
Notre Dame at the Notre Dame 46.
3rd down.
Al Wilkerson coming in defensively.
For the 1st.
Little light snow is falling here at the Cotton Bowl. Montana 6 for 14, 71 yards. Let's pop this one up the middle, and it is Jose Taylor on the tackle.
That's Pete Buchanan.
Buchanan
the
carried it.
fullback.
Now they're going to check out the possible 1st down. Buchanan, the freshman fullback, carried. And they're going to bring out the chain and measure.
And we have timeout for a measurement.
It's a little short.
Chain gang comes out. 1 minute, 38 seconds left to play in the 1st half. Likes that much. It's short. So it's 4th down. And the ball is at the 46-yard line. 4th and about a yard to go.
We're going to go for it. Quarterback sneak would get it easy.
Montana likes to run that. He runs the sneak. Penalty marker. He got the 1st down, but there may be a 5-yard penalty involved.
Montana on the keep, and flags are down on the play.
Well, defensive, if you don't put a man hit up that center, you're using 2 defensive tackles off the guards. All he has to do is go forward. You could pick up a foot or 2 foot. There's the movement up front. That was Robert Oglesby, who usually plays the nose guard position. He's in the gap. He's offsides.
Cost him 5 yards. Makes it 1st down for Notre Dame at the Houston 49-yard line. 1 minute, 19 seconds left in the half as Kris Haines comes in the ball game. Evans is going off. There goes Mastak off the field. Now he comes back into the huddle, and there goes Bendinger off. Kris Haines wide to the left side. Montana intercepted at the 45-yard line and returned by Bradham. Steve Bradham intercepted it.
Flags down.
Interception by Bradham, and a flag on the
Bradham's been all over the field here in the 1st half, probably holding against Notre Dame.
That would seem to be the indication, and it is. Holding against Notre Dame declined because Houston wants the ball, and the Cougars get it. 1st and 10, they get it at their own 44 on the interception by Bradham.
That was a poor pass, end over end by Joe Montana. And of course, the weather's really affected his throwing. They thought they'd be able to exploit Houston's secondary, Lindsey. They were rated the last in the conference pass defense, but so far, Montana's had problems.
Of course, they explained that record on pass defense by saying that their defense closed off the running attack of the opposition, and if they gained, they had to gain in the air. They tried the draw here to Love. Randy Love across the 50. And he is at the 45-yard line of Notre Dame. Tom Gibbons upset him there.
Great move here, just a little draw. Randy Love just picks up the first down on his own. He breaks a tackle here. Going forward, he got the extra yard, first down.
Inside the 46-yard line of Notre Dame. Clock is running, and we have 50 seconds remaining to be played. Keep in mind that during the halftime intermission, you'll see the Notre Dame band and the Houston band and the Kilgore Rangerettes, among other things. There's an incompletion. Danny Davis popping it on the ground out there. John Hankard pressuring him. It's going to be 2nd and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Danny Davis's pass intended for Miller. Calhoun applying pressure to the quarterback on the play. Will be 2nd down 10.
Danny Davis said that he used to sell peanuts, popcorn, and whatnot in the stands as a youngster. His appearance record after he started playing football in this stadium is 8-0. King, and he gets inside the 40-yard line. Jay Case.
Well, that's the play that's given Notre Dame's defense the most problems. Just a straight-ahead handoff.
There's a timeout, Houston. Houston stops the clock. You see in set. 33 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. And Houston is leading by a score of 17-12 as Danny Davis comes over for a talk with Bill Yeoman.
Davis passing today is 1 out of 5 for 15 yards, but that was the big pass completion, 15 yards for the touchdown.
King has carried 10 passes for 72 yards. Love has carried 13 passes for 59 yards for Houston.
Great running backs. The first time in Southwest Conference history that 2 backs on the same team went over 1,000 yards.
For many years in the geographical part of the country, the Houston Cougars were sort of orphans. They were in several conferences. They were independents, struggling all the while to be admitted to the Southwest Conference. Finally were admitted and were eligible for the first time in 1976. And now, in their first 3 years of eligibility, they have played in the Cotton Bowl twice, which is not all that bad. 3rd down and 2 yards to go with the ball on the 37-yard line. Davis has got it. Got the first down.
That'll stop the clock. That'll stop the clock till they get the chains in set.
First down, 10 yards to go. They are up there and ready to go at the 33-yard line. Clock is running with 20 seconds left in the half. Well, he throws that one away to stop the clock. And it stops it with 16 seconds remaining in the half, and it'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Houston at the Notre Dame 33-yard line.
2nd down 10. Your attention, please. Winston Williams.
Danny Davis looking over to the sideline, and here comes Hubert Miller in with the play for him. He's in the messenger tight end. Willis Adams is out into a wide left. Eric Herring's in a wide right. Herring at the 21-yard line. Pull him out of bounds at the 17. Stops the clock with 9 seconds remaining. Dave Waymer on the tackle, along with Browner.
That'll bring the field goal unit on. 17-yard pickup. And Davis, the good release that time, Lindsey, right on target on the sideline, picked up 16 yards and definitely has them for Kenny Hatfield field goal attempt.
34-yard attempt. Wyatt puts it down. Hatfield's kick is up, and the 34-yarder is good.
It skimmed the
just
bar.
Got over. It just got over, but it made it. 3 seconds on the clock. A 34-yard field goal is good, and Houston leads now by a score of 20-12. So the Houston Cougars get 3 more on the scoreboard before the halftime intermission. Getting that one off with 3 seconds remaining to be played in the first half.
Well, the first quarter was Notre Dame. They had the win. The second quarter, Houston had just swamped Notre Dame both offensively and defensively. I would imagine that Dan Devine, well, he's got a right to really chew out this football team at halftime, Lindsey. They look a little lackadaisical, and they do not look good at all.
Dan Devine Along the sideline there, he was born in Wisconsin, went to high school in Proctor, Minnesota, to college at the University of Minnesota Duluth, got his master's degree while an assistant coach at Michigan State. He was head coach at Arizona State, at Missouri, head coach of the Green Bay Packers. This is his 4th year at Notre Dame, Dan Devine. Hatfield will kick it off. Stone and Harrison along the 15-yard line. Since he's got it placed squarely flat down on the tee again to kick a line drive, and it's taken at the 29-yard line. And it is returned across the 40-yard line.
Pete Buchanan.
Buchanan returning, and time runs out as he returns it to the 46-yard line. Time has run out in the half, and Houston is leading at the halftime intermission by a score of 20-12 over Notre Dame. A victory for Houston over Notre Dame would be of considerable importance to them. For years, Houston struggled as an independent trying to get name teams on their schedule. And a victory over Notre Dame would be a considerable feather in their cap. Let's go down now to Frank Lieber.
Bill Yeoman is here with me, and you guys are playing like it's 75 degrees.
Well, no, it's not 75 degrees. The kids have come back after those first 2 mistakes there early and have played pretty well. I'll tell you what, though, that gum Notre Dame now, they've dropped some passes and things like that. I'll tell you, they're playing real tough. We better be ready for a full football game.
But you haven't lost your cool at all after that 12 points against
How
you.
can you lose your cool on a day like this, for crying out loud? No, there's no sense in getting stirred up. Heck, you're going to play as well as you can play, and if it doesn't work out, that's the way it goes.
The wind, obviously, is a big factor, though you did score once against it.
Yeah, wind's getting to be a little bit of a problem. And I got a sneaking suspicion it may cool off here and really get bad.
Montana, a little trouble throwing the ball. You're defensing him that well, or is the wind against him in that second
Well,
period?
no, I'll tell you, I think Joe's throwing the ball pretty doggone well. We got into 1 and maybe 2, but he's throwing the ball pretty well. I think our linebackers are playing better. I think our secondary is playing better. I'll tell you, we lost our concentration late in the year in our linebacker and defensive end, and they're playing better right now.
You surprised you're running the ball as well as you are?
Oh, no, we run it all year, and we feel if we can execute, we can run the ball on down anybody. But you know, they may step it in our ear this next one.
Well, it was cold here a couple of years ago, but not quite like this, huh?
No, you're right. It's good and fresh.
Okay, thank you very much, Bill. Good luck to you in the second half. Bill Yeoman, the head coach of the Houston Cougars, here at halftime, where the Cougars lead Notre Dame by a score of 20-12. Back with halftime activities in just a moment.